Well, Chicago, we are live at Dr. King's headquarters. We're here at the headquarters of Rainbow Push Coalition. Can we celebrate? It is Reunion Saturday. We are strong. Reverend Jesse Jackson is here. Listen, don't touch those dials. Text somebody, tweet somebody. Let them know the push is on as we push for change, push for freedom. Let me hear you make some noise, push. Put your hands together again for our reunion choir. Come on, these are some of the voices that have been singing for 52 years from Bread Basket to today. I need y'all to make some noise for them. What joy it is to see everyone back home. We're calling the family home the entire month of December, and we're glad that our leader, our founder, our president is live. He's well, he's strong, he's winning, he's beating Parkinson's. Come on, put your hands together for Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson. Yeah, and so today, those of you that are watching us, give us a call. All month long, we are celebrating again 52 years. What a journey it has been. We are still here, and it's by the grace of God. Give us a call, 773-256-2775. That's the number on your screen right now. Give us a call wherever you are across this United States of America and renew your Rainbow Push membership today. Or you can pull out your cell phones, those of you that are with us live, and text JLJ77. That's once again, those of you that are with us here, those of you that are listening and watching us, pull out your cell phone and text JLJ77 to hashtag, that's the pound sign, y'all, 41444. For the last time, it's JLJ77, and text that to pound 41444 to support Rainbow Push. One more time, celebrate Reunion Saturday today. It's going to be a great time. There's so many people here today. Roland Burris, who was a former executive director and the CEO. Come on, he's here with us. Bishop Tavis, Grant Field Director. Tyrone McGowan, pastor, former field director. Come on, celebrate. Mark Allen is with us today. Just so many of us are here to celebrate. And immediately after the broadcast, you all, we are giving away love baskets filled with food from our partners here at Jules. If you have not signed up today, it's okay. Next week, we are giving away baskets of joy and love this holiday season. So again, give us a call, 773-256-2775, and let us know wherever you are, and make Push under your Christmas tree. Don't go throughout the holiday season not supporting Push before you need Push to support you. We are celebrating the life and the legacy of none other than Martin Luther King Jr., a doctor, a pastor, a great man. And so we want you to get your tickets on January the 21st, right downtown at the Hyatt Regency. You can go on Eventbrite, or again, you can go on rainbowpush.org to get all of the information. Do you know Push Excel has given away over $6 million in scholarships? Come on, celebrate the work of none other than Reverend Jackson, Dr. Wilson, and they're doing a great work. So again, on January the 21st, that's a Monday, we're celebrating the life and the legacy of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and we're also going to send our young people to college. Next Saturday, you all, we want you to join us here for none other than Reverend Dr. Raphael Warnock from Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta. He's going to be with us. It is Business and International Day, and then we're celebrating our founder founder, none other than Reverend Reverend Jesse Jackson on the 22nd with Reverend Dr. Otis Moss. He's going to be with us, Pastor Emeritus of Olivet Institute Baptist Church. And then on the last Saturday, none other than Reverend Dr. Freddie Haynes III is going to be with us. And so again, all month we are celebrating none other than 52 years of a journey that God has been good to us. We're grateful again that the family is back together. We're grateful for also our international friends, none other than Madam Agnes Remedia. She's from South Africa. Can you celebrate her? She's come a long way to be with us. We're grateful for Dr. James T. Pleasant. Come on, from none other than Clark Atlanta University. He's with us today. And those of you that are watching, again, give us a call, 773-256-2775. Let us know wherever you are and put Rainbow Push on your Christmas list this holiday season. Well, the band is back together again today. Ralph Evans is here. Mickey Warren is here. We thank God for none other than Pastor Brian Jones, the son of none other than Pastor Billy Jones. Put your hands together for the reunion choir as they come.
Everywhere you go, there is strife. Something that worries you, but remember, yes, everywhere you go, there is trouble. Everywhere you go, there is strife. Yes, everywhere you go, there is something that worries you, but remember.
Put your hands together for our reunion choir. Give us a call, 773-256-2775, wherever you are across the world. Tomorrow morning, everybody say tomorrow morning. Keep Hope Alive Radio. You can listen to Reverend Jackson tomorrow morning from 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Every Sunday Central Standard Time, iHeartRadio. You can download the app to listen to him, or you can go to keephopealiveradio.com to stream live. It's going to be a great dialogue tomorrow morning, so we want you to join him live and every Sunday from 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock Central Standard Time. Today, again, we are showing love to our family from Ford Heights. Ford Heights, Make some noise. They are with us today. And we are grateful again for the teachers union that are here standing up and fighting for our young people. And so we are grateful. Today we have an author that's with us. She has written a great book. The House That John H. Johnson Built is forwarded by our very own Reverend Jesse Jackson. I want you to put your hands together, turn up your TV for none other than Dr. Margina A. Christian as she comes.
Good morning. Good morning. I brought my purse to the stage in honor of the late, great Queen of Soul, Aretha Louise Franklin, who always came to the stage with her purse. And I wrote her census item in Ebony magazine. Reverend Jackson also wrote a tribute along with my former colleague, Clarence Waldron. I am Dr. Margina A. Christian, and in 1995, I was hired by John H. Johnson to be an editor with Jet Magazine, the weekly publication known as the Negro Bible. I worked at Johnson Publishing from 1995 until 2014, when my position as senior editor was eliminated. And during the week that my position was eliminated was also the week that Jet Magazine ended as we knew it in print publication. The one way that we remember people is through history and those who have come before us. And there's a saying that instead of cursing the darkness, you can light a candle. And that's what I decided to do. I remember in 2010, I came to Rainbow Push to interview Reverend Jackson about John H. Johnson for a section called Legend. And it was in 2010 that I decided to work on my doctorate. And I conducted research on my late boss, John H. Johnson, the publisher, founder of Johnson Publishing Company, Ebony Jet Magazine's Fashion Fair Cosmetics, and the Ebony Fashion Fair. All we need is one person to believe in us. John H. Johnson believed in me. I was a 6th, 7th, and 8th grade language arts teacher from St. Louis and also an entertainment writer, and he gave me an opportunity. But before me, in 1969, John H. Johnson believed in a young man who returned to Chicago, penniless, unemployed, unknown, married with 2 children. This young man needed a job, so he went to Reverend Mayor Daley. And Mayor Daley said, I have a job for you. And he offered him a job as a toll collector. And he was grateful. But this young man went to church. And at his church was a mother, a matron of the church, Gertrude Johnson Williams, who said, do you need a job for the summer? I can talk to Johnny. My son can give you a job. And so this young man went to talk to Johnny, John H. Johnson. And when he first went to the company, for a short while, he was in the mailroom, and Mr. Johnson, as we called him, said, you're too smart to be in the mailroom. I want you to do more. He gave him a car and said, I'm going to put you on the streets because I want you to get out and to meet the people. You have so much more that you can contribute and do. And that young man that John H. Johnson believed in is the Reverend Jesse L. Jackson Sr. Mayor Daley saw a toll collector. John Johnson saw a communicator who is now a world leader. And through the pages of Ebony and Jet magazines, we took back our narrative. And we didn't let the world tell us who we are and what we're supposed to do and how we should act and what we should look like. Because the media portrayed us as buffoons, as ignorant, as idiots, how black was ugly. And John H. Johnson on the pages of Ebony and Jet magazine showed that black is beautiful, black is powerful. And when the world said that we couldn't do anything, he showed us that we could do all things. And I wrote the book, The Empire, the house that John H. Johnson built, to keep his legacy alive so that we can never forget what this man did. The empire he once owned that stood on 820 South Michigan that is currently being turned into apartments. Apartments that people of color might not even be able to afford to get in. But I want you to remember that before that, this man was the one who built that empire. The first person of color to build such a building in downtown Chicago, one of our own, John H. Johnson. I will do a book signing following this broadcast, and I'd like to say Mr. Johnson was a member of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity. Reverend Jackson is a member of Omega Psi Phi. This book is the Alpha and the Omega. Thank you.
Welcome to the #SMF Weekly Update.
Thank you, Reverend Jackson.
We gave away warm children's coats, compliments of Wells Fargo and Operation Warm last week.
Thank you for everything that you've done for me and my little church. We appreciate everything from the bottom of our heart. We really, really, really appreciate it.
This week, the nation laid to rest the 41st President of the United States, George H.W. Bush, on the grounds of the George Herbert Walker Bush Presidential Library.
I am Jordan College. I am will make a difference.
Reverend Jackson is always working, always fighting for you and I. That's what he does. This week, students at Oakland High School had a special visitor in the person of Reverend Jackson. After hearing about their increased graduation rate for African American girls, Reverend Jackson decided to visit those young women in Oakland.
The New South attracts Mercedes-Benz and Honda and Toyota and Nissan. In the New South, we reject uncivilized behavior. In the New South, we made the New South. It must be new for everybody.
Reverend Jackson was also invited to deliver the eulogy for Emantic E.J. Bradford, the 21-year-old young man killed by the police in the Alabama Mall.
You shot a 21-year-old person running away from gunfire, never posed you a threat, never had nothing in his hand. Why did you shoot him? You can't explain that to me because that ain't training. That's cowardice. You a coward. There's no justice if you get off with this. You would not get off with this. I will make sure whoever you need to do the right thing on this one because it's wrong.
Reverend Jackson reminded us that protests are righteous during a press conference. Reverend Jackson was a special guest at a black tie affair sponsored by the Economic Club of Chicago. There was a discussion during the dinner with Ariel Capital Investments President Mellody Hobson and Bono, co-founder of One.
Lawmakers this week plan to vote on shifting power from the governor and the attorney general to state legislators. Democrats say it's a backlash against Tony Evers and Josh Kaul after their wins last month. This was the scene outside of the room as the Joint Finance Committee kicked off this afternoon's hearing just before 2 o'clock.
What are we witnessing in Wisconsin and Michigan 2 years ago in North Carolina is an alarming case of voter suppression. But still, we keep hope alive. James Alexis Fields has been found guilty of killing Heather Heyer during the violent Charlottesville white nationalist rally. We want to remind you this week in history, we say Happy Founders Day to the men of Alpha Phi Alpha. December 5th, 1935, Mary McLeod Bethune founded the National Council of Negro Women. This organization fought for jobs, voting rights, anti-lynching legislation. Now, today, our very own former staff member Janice Mathis now sits at the helm. 381 days Tens of thousands of people participated in the Montgomery bus boycott. The anniversary of the Montgomery bus boycott is December 5th, 1955. It was one of the most powerful examples in U.S. history of sustained collective organizing. As a result of this, Alabama has finally observed its first Rosa Parks Day. December 4th, 1967, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. announced the historic Poor People's Campaign, which is...
We always said in the Black Panther Party that they can do anything they want to us. We might not be back. I might be in jail. I might be anywhere. But when I leave, you can remember I said with the last words on my lips that I am a revolutionary.
This day has special meaning for us, December 4th. December 4th, 1969, the police had a search and kill warrant out for the Panthers. They killed Fred Hampton and Mark Clark and tried to kill Bobby Rush. He was not home that night. They killed the both of them. Bobby turned himself in to me later on in open public display, and so that today, 49 years later, Bobby Rush is a congressman. And we pray for the souls of Fred and Mark and for the continued work and service of Bobby Rush. Even then, it did not break our spirits. We keep fighting back. Our quest for dignity will not stop. This past week, we were in Birmingham, Alabama, where E.J. Bradford, likewise, was shot in the head 3 times and killed. And we mourn his death, and yet we will turn his powerful innocent blood into transformation. We got mad and said we got mad and voted in a new district attorney. We got mad and turned our votes and pain into power. We'll keep turning pain into power. To the blessed day of justice has arrived. We will not give up. We will not surrender. We will not go over. We will not go away. We will not go away.
Want to congratulate Black Panther the movie, nominated for 3 Golden Globe Awards: Best Picture, Best Original Song, Best Score. And Constance Wu becomes the first Asian woman to receive a Golden Globes nomination for the Best Actress in a Musical or Comedy Motion Picture in 50 years. We also found 62 Black female television writers. Diversity matters in storytelling. With pride, we remember Shirley Chisholm, the first African-American woman elected to the United States Congress. She is being honored with a statue commemorating her legacy. Ruth Buffalo, North Dakota's first female Native American lawmaker elected to the North Carolina State Legislature, was sworn in wearing traditional dress.
Keep hope alive.
We again celebrating its reunion Saturday, you all. Can we celebrate Ralph Evans? He's the son of none other than Reverend Clay Evans. He's joined us. Michael Davis is playing the organ today. And we celebrate some amazing women here at Push that are 90 years and looking beautiful. Miss Hazel Thomas is with us. Miss Gurnell Sims is with us. And the great pastor of Shiloh Missionary Baptist Church, Reverend Rodney Patterson, is with us. Today, the spokesman is here. Professor Jonathan Jackson. What an amazing mind he has, and what an amazing son he is to our founder and our leader. But before he comes, and the children shall lead us. And so today we are excited about a young lady who's in 3rd grade at Calumet Christian School. Put your hands together for none other than Faith Jenkins, our oratorical.
Good morning, Rainbow Push. I am Faith Jenkins, and today I will be reciting Transatlantic Trip by Angela Bowen. I won't ever forget my ancestors' cries and pains. I could still remember the images of them bound in chains. I see them packed like sardines in the bottom of each ship. I see them being thrown overboard during that Middle Passage trip. For at least 8 weeks they remained bonded in those arks, and those who could not endure the pain became food for the sharks. First stops were the islands, where they were beaten until broken in. Second stop was the mainland, where it started all over again. Up on this hill block to be sold as property, forced to work all day in this so-called land of liberty. Tobacco was the first crop my ancestors had to pick. So, you need to stop smoking. Knowing this, you just have to quit. Sugarcane and cotton were other crops they picked too. and indigo was a dye they picked that gives us the color blue. Lynched, beaten, hanged, stabbed, burned, tar-feathered and kicked, castrated, maimed, shot, raped, slapped, around and whipped. As long as I live on this earth without shame, I won't ever forget the pains of my ancestors. Transatlantic trip. Now it is my honor to introduce Reverend Jesse L. Jackson Sr. Thank you.
And we have Jonathan Jackson. So everybody stand to your feet and love on both Reverend and Jonathan Jackson.
I am somebody. I am somebody. Red and yellow, brown, black, and white. We're all precious in God's sight. If my mind can conceive it and my heart can believe it, I know I can achieve it. Save the children. Stop the violence. Save the children. Stop the violence. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. Let me hear you. Let me hear you. Let me hear you. Let me hear you. Since Dr. King gave us the assignment, Operation Breadbasket, we've toiled for a half century. The struggle continues, and our national spokesman, Jonathan Jackson.
I'm honored to be here today. I'm going to now ask my sister and friend, Ms. Tenille Evans, an organizer with the Chicago Teachers Union, a parent, lives on the west side. That's a long way from the south side. This is one city. The Chicago Teachers Union is on. Tenille, give us an update on the strike. The first strike by a charter company in the United States of America. Teachers are now pushing back. Come on, Ms. Evans.
Thank you. Thank you, Reverend Jesse Jackson, for this honor. We thank you for supporting the teachers and the union and public education. We are out on a picket line. That's why I lost my voice, just screaming and demanding that my voice be heard. We want our voices to be heard for smaller class sizes. We have over 40 students in classes that our teachers and paraprofessionals are working with. We are advocating for special education services. We want sanctuary schools. We want fair compensation, that our highly quality educators and PSRPs will stay in our schools year after year. And so the CEO Rich Rodriguez, we call him Richie Rich, he's hiding the money. He's making all the money and sprinkling down the coins and pennies to us. And our students are getting left out. The resources are being depleted because they're filling their pockets up with all the money. And we're sick and tired of it. We're tired. We're tired of the excuses. We're tired of the fact that they say they don't have any money, but they have money to invest in what they want to invest in. We're tired of the oversized classrooms. We're tired of them closing public schools or trying to expand charter schools. We're tired of the budget cuts. We're tired of them saying that you lose your job today, oh, but we got a job over here for somebody else tomorrow. We're tired of that. We're tired of the special education cuts. We're tired of the money that's there that's not being applied back into our communities for our students, because they deserve the same resources and a just Chicago for all and not just for downtown or somewhere. So that is why we are out fighting. That is why we are standing for what's right. Because when our children are under attack, we're going to fight back. When our teachers are under attack, we're going to fight back. When our schools are under attack, we are going to fight back. When the community is under attack, oh, we are fighting back. Like in the words of Jesse Jackson, we're keeping hope alive. We're keeping hope alive. And we're going to keep walking. We're going to keep picketing. We're going to keep marching because we're keeping hope alive that they will bargain in good faith. We will get a stellar contract. We will get a fair contract, equal for all. Oh, we marching and we keeping hope alive. We thank you all for your support. Stand vigilant with us. Hold our hands. Bring us some coffee out there if you can. It's cold out there, but we're doing it for a good cause. We're doing it for the betterment of the community, for your child, for my child. We all in this together, and we just need to keep hope alive. We just need to keep hope alive and keep marching and keep fighting. And that's what the Chicago Teachers Union is doing. That's what our teachers are doing. That's what our PSRPs are doing. So these politicians better get ready, because we coming if you don't do right by our students.
Fired up! I am excited. How can you be self-respecting, God-loving, in the city of Chicago or any other place in the United States of America, and you've never been in a march, you've never been in a demonstration, you've never shown any outrage when children get killed, when schools get closed, when people get locked up and don't have a fair day? Thank God for you, Miss Evans. I've got two brief assignments. Brother Will Hall, thank you for introducing Dr. Jamie T. Pleasant. But I need to revisit that. Dr. Pleasant, please stand. And I'm going to ask you to turn around and face the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a modern day polymath. What does that mean? Dr. Pleasant is a teacher, a professor at Clark Atlanta University. A man who's a graduate in physics at Benedict College. A man that has his MBA from Clark Atlanta University. A man that got his PhD in business from Georgia Tech. Don't applaud just yet. The first, as they would say, colored, African American, Negro in 111 years to get a PhD from Georgia Tech School of Business. He has spent the last several days with my father. I am grateful, but he's also a minister who wants to teach economic principles on rebuilding communities. Why are you sitting at home and you're not out here at the Rainbow Push headquarters to see such a brilliant man? Now, if his name was Euripides, Aristophanes, Socrates, you would look at him different. The man was a football player, a cornerback, and God has blessed him, and he's never stopped. Give him a loving round of applause. And ladies and gentlemen, that's my message for the day. School is open. Black colleges work. Clark Atlanta is accepting students right now. You need to apply. Parents, children, even some grandparents. Now, before I bring my father up to resume his rightful place. There was a major funeral this past week. The teachers union, to you all. The charter schools is the first step in privatization. Now that they've opened the books, these private concerns that are using public dollars to teach our children, we can't see the books because they say they're private. They advertise they're public and all children can attend. But did you know that that school has now banked $10 million? They've got $10 million in their savings from the city of Chicago. They have enough money to raise the wages for the teachers. I don't like to fix the blame, I want to fix the problem. We want to have Sierra School return that money back to the citizens of the city of Chicago. If you're not using it to teach, what are you doing? Next point. I am so proud of my father, the Reverend Jesse Jackson, Dr. Grant. I saw all this adulation for George H.W. Bush. But God knows we need a platform where truth can be spoken. And Dad, I want to thank you for letting me be on this program. People thought I had an issue with the Chicago police. I never had an issue with the police. Somebody breaks in your house, you call the police, not the preacher. We need strong policing. I could care less about Commander John Burge. I was more concerned about this woman right here. Ms. Johnson, raise your hand. Please stand, Ms. Johnson. It was her son that was tortured by Commander John Burge when he was 13 years of age. That he got fired for torturing this child and was never prosecuted. I was standing for Ms. Johnson. I wasn't standing against John Burge. I was standing for justice. I wasn't against police. I want justice for all. And now that Mr. George H. Bush shall lie and rest and meet his eternal maker, he's the same man that vetoed the 1964 Voting Rights Act. He wasn't in support. He's the same man that ran with Ronald Wilson Reagan. After they left Detroit, they went to Philadelphia, Mississippi to go to the Tallahatchie River where Schwerner, Goodman, and Cheney were killed, and they started a frontal assault against civil rights, against Voting Rights Act. They put in Jim Crow in the modern era. I don't want to play politics. I want to speak the truth. When we talk about Nicaragua, El Salvador, Honduras, and drugs and cocaine, and Oliver North and drugs for guns, running and cocaine import agency, the CIA, that has these drugs in our community, these drugs aren't grown in our neighborhoods. When we started seeing the Willie Horton ad, when we look at the invasion of Iraq, where we took out a kingdom, Saddam Hussein had a beef, talking about the 19th province of the Byzantine Empire where they were stealing oil out of the sand, one country versus another. Mr. George H.W. Bush used our military to return a king to power. They didn't ask for democracy because they wanted oil contracts. And $6 trillion later, I want to thank God for my father, the Reverend Jesse Jackson, for having been a peacemaker, having gone to Iraq, having met with Saddam Hussein, who tried to show America a more excellent way. Dad, God bless you. Blessed are the peacemakers, the Reverend Jesse Jackson.
Give it up for Jonathan Jackson. You know, the outstanding living trophy for George Bush is he appointed Clarence Thomas to the Supreme Court. And that is his trophy. This is a huge day for us as we look back 52 years. Roland and Dr. King established Operation Breadbasket, really. We were going to stores in the ghetto selling bad meat and high-priced food and not hiring us to be in positions of authority, even to be clerks at the time. We built the first chain store at 47th and Calumet with Bush Smith Construction Company at that time, put money in Seaway Bank and money in Independence Bank called Operation Green Power and Illinois Federal. We've never stopped fighting across these years. This month, 1969, I got a call before day in the morning that the state's attorney had invaded the home of Fred Hampton and Mark Clark and shot them in their sleep and killed them. And they meant to kill Bobby Rush. Bobby was not home at that time. Bobby was alive today because he was not home. He is a distinguished congressman, was scheduled to die on December 4th, 1969. We were able to eulogize him and stay with his family across the years until they made their transition. So it's been 52 years of struggle. I was not with you last Saturday because a young man who was a veteran in Birmingham, Alabama, and there was a fight broke out at the mall. They said he shot and killed somebody. The fact is, he did not. His gun did not go up. He had the right to carry a gun. He was a card-carrying gun man. But then when they were arguing about he was threatening people with the gun, Attorney Ben Crump got the forensic study. He said he was hit one time. They said he was shot in the face. He was shot behind the ear, came out of his eye, and he fell flat, and he saw blood on the floor. They shot him in the back of the head and shot him in the toe. They shot him 3 times in the back. E.J. Bradford, and so we were there with him in Birmingham last week. Somehow, some way, the violence has to stop. But my friends, Donald Trump is going to jail. And what's amazing to me about this whole ordeal is that Cohen will have to bring down. There's some kids in Cook County Jail, been in jail 5 years on pretrial detention. They were sending Cohen to jail for 4 years for trying to take down the government. I said there's some kids in Cook County Jail been in jail 5 years on pretrial detention, waiting for trial without the money to bail themselves out. He'll go to jail 4 years and get out half that on good behavior, trying to take the government down. This is the most corrupt, scandalous government in the history of our country. Say corruption must end where it begins. Determined to be with us today. She can open up with Sweet Little Jesus Boy, Audrey DuBois Harris. Give it up, Audrey. Put your hands together.
Didn't know you come to save us, Lord, and wash our sins away. But please, sir, forgive us, Lord. We are trying, Master. You done showed us, Lord. dying. Just seems like we can't do right. Look how we treated you. Our eyes was blind. We couldn't see. We didn't know who you were. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Sweet little Jesus boy, we didn't know who you were.
Since it's the Christmas season, how about the band join me in Silent Night? Something sweet.
Silent night, holy night. All is calm. All is bright round the young vine.
Rights activist, the Reverend Jesse Jackson, joined protesters at the main camp in the morning, where he drew comparisons between the pipeline and Flint, Michigan.
The irony is they sent Native Americans out on these reservations to perish, only to find that there was great wealth beneath the soil. Americans have been victims of protracted genocide and broken treaties and dishonored commitments. We must measure our character by how we treat Native Americans. I think when I went to jail the first time, like I was born again. Something happened within me. A fire was lit that never went out, really.
When the hungry look up and see us coming trying to give them skill, somebody might say, who are they? We just people, united.
When the Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia, or FARC, captured Kevin Sute, a retired Marine who was hiking in Colombia, a key player in the negotiations for his release was Reverend Jesse Jackson.
He had no one to bargain for him, and so I stepped in that gap and bargained for him.
Of course, Jackson is best known as a civil rights leader, but the role of third-party intermediary in hostage or prisoner negotiations is not new for him. It began in 1983 after then-Lieutenant Bobby Goodman was shot down over Lebanon and taken prisoner by Syria. Jackson went to Syria without the blessing of the Reagan administration.
President Reagan's office said, well, you shouldn't go. You don't know what you're doing, and you can only get him in harm's way.
The third party created a dynamic through which President Hafez al-Assad could release the American pilot and save face.
It allowed the Syrian government the opportunity to release me without having to succumb directly to the U.S. government.
Receiving both Goodman and Jackson at the White House, even a reluctant President Ronald Reagan was compelled to give Jackson credit, saying you can't quarrel with success. That turned the spotlight on Jackson, created momentum for his 1984 presidential bid, and made him a go-to as a third-party intermediary. He negotiated with Fidel Castro for the release of prisoners, pleaded with Saddam Hussein to release foreign nationals held as human shields before the first Gulf War, and the release of journalists held in Liberia. In the high-profile case of U.S. soldiers captured in Kosovo, Jackson played a role in their release. And there are others, never acting as part of the government, just a human rights advocate.
The civil rights movement within our own country has moral authority.
Jackson intends to continue his unofficial diplomacy whenever his experience and place in the world fit the dynamic. Anyone who views him as self-gratifying gains little of Jackson's attention.
To gain the release of captives is gratifying. It's also risky. It's also the right thing to do.
If I can help somebody as I pass along, if I can cheer somebody with a word or song, if I can show somebody he is traveling wrong, then my living shall not be in vain. If I can do more duty as a Christian cause, if I can bring their beauty to a world apart, if I can spread, Lord, a message that the Master taught, then my living
It's anniversary month. Make sure you register at Rainbow Push headquarters in person to receive a Christmas food basket. You must have and show your voter registration card and driver's license or state ID to apply for a food basket. You can register Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Saturdays from 8:30 a.m. to 1 o'clock p.m. Spread the word. And we're convening the family. Exciting dates. December 8th, Reunion Saturday. December 15th, International Day. Oratorical Competition. December 22nd, Founders Day. Give the gift of hope with us on Christmas Day as Reverend Jackson takes his annual visit to inmates at Cook County Jail. December 29th, Millennial College Student Summit. Journey with us. We are returning home to South Africa in celebration of freedom and the end of apartheid. Register now to travel with Miss Jacqueline Jackson to South Africa, April 24th, 2019 through May 4th, 2019.
Hi, my name is Felicia Neal. I am the National Director of Membership Services for the Rainbow Push Coalition. I am so excited to know that we have members around the world. Please, why don't you join us?
Join the movement, join Push. Do you have your pen?